Hey guys, this is October 5th, and I'll be doing an Inktober challenge drawing today. As always, I'm tracing my phone to give myself a little window of area where I will draw a full composition. I try not to draw things just floating on the page when I can do like a full picture instead. So this just gives me a defined space and I don't have to fill the entire page. Today's challenge is Blade, and since I am an art teacher, I'm going to go for a less weapons-oriented version. If you would like to do a different version of Blade, go for it, have fun with it, or you can follow along with this video. So for this, I'm going to use pencil first, and I am going to sketch out a blade of grass. I'm trying to figure out if I want my blade of grass to twist. I think I do. All right. So I've got my blade of grass and it's twisted right there. I'm happy with that. And because it's a blade of grass, I'm going to do one of those pussy willow blades of grass like right next to it. Maybe that's the kind of grass that it is. I know it has a funny name. That's what it's called. So I'm doing it in pencil right now. It's going to look a lot different when I go back and add pen. So I just want to make sure that I like it before I go over it with pen. I'm playing with the proportions. As you could see, I made the top of that a lot bigger as I drew. I'm making the stem part a lot skinnier. Okay. I like this so far, I think. So my idea is that this blade of grass and the willow piece are coming out of a pot of flowers. So I think for the flowers, I'm going to do kind of primitive flowers because they are really not the focal point of this drawing. I hope you enjoy the music in the background today. I don't usually do music for these videos, but today it's a Monday and I needed to wake up. So there it is. And I'm noticing that these flowers are pretty messy. They look like popcorn or just like mush. So what I think I'm going to do when I go over them with pen is that I'll actually define the middle of each flower and the outside of each flower a bit more. And then when I erase, some of these lines will go away. And so I'm hoping it'll look a little different. I'm going to do another tiny blade of grass here and there. And I think I'm going to make the edge of the flower pot somewhere over here. I don't know, that looks messy. So if you think of an idea and you try it and it doesn't look right, it looks messy, you can try it a different way, or you can just change your course of action and maybe decide this does not need a flower pot underneath it. Because if I did draw a flower pot, it'd be all the way at the bottom of the composition and no one would really notice it. It wouldn't add anything to this drawing. So you got to think about those questions as an artist. What does this drawing need? What will look good? What will make sense? What will distract the viewer's eye? What will, complement what I already have on my page? All of these questions are good ones for you to think while you're working on a piece of art. All right, one more little flower here. I'm going to start going over some things with pen, and you'll notice when I go over stuff with pen, I'm not going to stay confined to the exact same line that I did with pencil. I can move and adjust as necessary. When you go over with pen, let it dry for a minute before you start erasing your pencil line. Because if you erase right away, especially if you're using gel pen, that's going to smear everything. Another good song in the background for a Monday morning. Yes, yes. Yes, please. So I hope that the texture I'm creating now still looks like a pussy willow, because using pen, things look a lot different than using pencil. It's harder to get a soft texture with a pen. That's why I didn't use that many lines. I used way more lines when I was drawing this with pencil. I'm using fewer lines with pen because pen is so much more harsh. Okay, I have my blade of grass. I have my willow piece. I'm going to start looking at these flowers. Still going to keep the flowers pretty simple, but I think I like this idea of drawing them real quick, like curly cues, and then making adjustments when going over them with pen. So this drawing is very much inspired by my weekends. I went to a garden center and I picked out a mum plant, which is really popular in the fall. So these flowers are supposed to look like mums. I really love plants. So you'll notice I try and like incorporate some plant life and some nature in a lot of my artwork. There's some empty space down near the bottom of my drawing. So you'll notice I'm like making certain flowers a lot bigger and I'm like shifting their position a little bit. So they're really filling in some of these gaps that I have. And then I'll draw a few partial flowers to just fill up some of the empty space. Should have left a spot for my signature. I'm just realizing that now. That would have been a nice place to hide it. But that's okay. I don't even have to hide it. I'll make it really prominent. All right. I think I will erase at least the blade of grass, and I gave it a little bit of time while drawing flowers, so that hopefully it's not smearing. If you find a pencil that has a really good eraser, um, try and remember that pencil has a nice one, because some erasers are trash and some erasers are awesome. I really like this one. And that's just good to know as an artist, not to use a bad eraser on a piece of art you really care about. I'm just going to finish up with a little bit of shading, a little bit of stippling, and then, just put some finishing touches on, have some fun with this, and that will be it. I think I'm going to emphasize some of my lines by going back and making them thicker. I love doing that to my drawings. I hope it still looks like a blade of grass, though. That's what I'm worried about. Not too shabby. I like those little lines I did. I was just having fun, just experimenting, and I kind of like how it turned out. I kind of want to put something in the wind, like in the air behind this. Let's see. So I'm just adding some fun little details in the background, kind of inspired by the lines in Starry Night. I like those mark making techniques that Vincent van Gogh is so popular for. But I don't want to overdo it. That's something you also got to think about as an artist. Is like, is that enough detail right now so that I don't overdo it and make my artwork look cluttered or busy or anything like that? I'm going to make maybe some of the areas in between the flowers a little darker. I think that will add a nice little contrast boost. The nice thing about having a drawing practice is that it can always give you ideas. So I really like what I drew today. And I had the idea before of putting it inside a flower pot. That would make a really cute drawing. I just had the idea now. What if these mums were growing out of a pumpkin and then the grass was growing out of the mums? That would be a really cute drawing. So when you have a sketchbook, you have all these great ideas, and then you can revisit those ideas at any time to create a more finished piece of art. All right, I'm going to emphasize my signature a bit, and then I think that could be it for today, for today's Inktober challenge. All right. Thank you for tuning in.